We are 5 days out from possibly the gayest UFC fight of all time. Two African brothers.
This is my African brother right here. Let's go, nigga. What's up, bitch? Let's go, nigga. Yeah, nigga.
Swinging their mitts, trying to find out who is the king of Wakanda. Dricus Du Plessis versus Israel the Last Stylebender Adesanya. At a later stage, I'll be doing a full card breakdown, giving my picks of every single bout in the card, but that'll come later. That'll probably be put out on Friday. Today, we're just going to be speaking about the main event. I must say, the lead up to the fight so far has been exceptionally boring. The UFC media team need to be fired. However, the press conference should be out in about a day or two. It's just going to be DDP saying, I never said that. I never said that.
Never discredited anybody. Stating facts. Where do I reside? What's my postal code? Where do I train? Where do I live? Where was I born?
Izzy's going to try dead the beef backstage before the fight. He's probably going to make some poor taste jokes about his dog that he thinks are going to land, but just going to be crickets.
Okay. I don't really give a fuck where he's from, but I'll show him who he is.
Yeah, whatever that means.
The crowd, both at the fight and at the press conference, are obviously going to be cheering louder for DDP than for Izzy, which is going to really get under Izzy's skin. Although the UFC media team need to be fired, their design team is doing bits. They're doing pretty good right now. I've seen the shorts that DDP and Adesanya are going to be wearing have been released. I like the look of them. Nice touch. I found this video of Dricus Du Plessis' head coach. One of his training methods is that he uses a taser on his fighters if they fuck up.
So think about why you're gonna get tased, all of you. Think about it. So if they up, I help them fix the problem. This is fixing the problem, not on. Ian.
It definitely does. It's a very cool mental note. Works a lot better than a sticky note, I can tell you that.
How are you going to lose to a man that gets Pavlov conditioned by a fucking taser not to lose? As seen on UFC Embedded 1, DDP has been spotted wearing a deadly porn stash. DDP is known for his relentless pace and his strong cardio, especially after his nose job. He can adjust and create effective game plans, and I expect him to survive Adesanya's early strikes and take over in the later rounds. He's likely to use pressure, volume, and takedowns to gain control. If you remember back to when Dricus fought Robert Whittaker, he did a head and arm throw on Whittaker. And you have to remember, Whittaker is an all-time great for grappling defense. DDP is a strong, aggressive fighter with relentless pressure and power. He has a well-rounded game where he mixes striking and grappling. And finally, he's just bigger and more physical than many of Adesanya's previous opponents. Israel Adesanya, on the other hand, well, he's obviously known for his explosive starts and his strong counter-striking. To be fair to him, he looks the most jacked I've ever seen him in my life. He looks confident, he looks happy, there is a glow about him. But, as we know, Izzy becomes more and more predictable and less aggressive as the fight progresses. He's a highly technical striker with excellent footwork and defense, and he's obviously a former champion, but he's coming off that controversial loss against Sean Strickland. It's my opinion that he's going to struggle against Du Plessis' relentless pressure, his grappling and his physicality. And also, Izzy being 1-2 in his last 3 fights just gives you the inclination, just gives you the feeling that he's not in his prime anymore and that Israel Adesanya's time has passed. Adesanya may have fought Brunson and Whittaker, but you gotta remember both of them had mainly striking game plans, especially Robert Whittaker. Both of them were not very effective in finding submissions. Whereas for DDP, before practicing kickboxing, Du Plessis started with judo, and during his time at EFC Worldwide and the KSW, he stood out for knowing when to take fights to the ground, and he won mostly by submission. Not well known, but Dricus even beat an entire South African Gracie Barra team only by himself in a quintet type competition. Now, granted, the level of South African Jiu-Jitsu is not high, is nowhere near as it would be in America or in the UK or in Brazil or any of these other places, but it's still something to be considered. Despite standing out for his knockout power, DDP will undoubtedly be the opponent with the most effective submission offense that Adesanya has ever faced. Adesanya went his entire career without being properly tested with someone who has effective takedown and submission ability. This will be the first. In DDP's fight against Whitaker, he took him down and held him there towards the end of round 1, where his ground and pound game was pretty solid. There's no reason he can't do that to Izzy too. And once Izzy's on the ground, as long as DDP maintains the pressure, Izzy won't get up. DDP is not dumb. He will go for takedowns and he will get them easily. Dricus will win the fight via submission, taking control from the second round onward.